Assalamu alaikum class. In this video we are going to continue the exercise 1.1. Here we have different types of linear equations. There are three different types of linear equations. The first one is identity equation, then conditional equation, and then equations with no solution. So let's start with the identity equation that we are having. An equation 5x minus 10 is equal to 5 into x minus 2. Its domain is set of all real numbers. As we do not have any denominator, so it means we cannot have any undefined value. So now we are going to solve this equation with 5x minus 10 will remain as it is, and I'm going to multiply this 5 within this bracket 5x minus 10. This 5x is going to be shifted on left hand side, and this minus 10 will be shifted on the right hand side, and we get 0 is equal to 0, which is a true statement. As you can see that in such type of equations in which variable totally vanish, and we at the end we have a true statement, it means that the statement is true for all values of the domain. That is, if I put x is equal to 0 or some positive value or some negative value from the domain, the left hand side will always be equal to the right hand side. So solution set will be equal to the domain of the equation, and such equations are named as identity equation, in which the whole domain is going to satisfy the equation. And here you can also see that if I take 5 common from the equation, I get 5 into x minus 2. So the left hand side is already equal to the right hand side, so it must be true for all values of the domain. The next one is named as the conditional equation. These are the simple equations that we have deal with up till now, like x plus 3 is equal to 7 is a linear equation, and clearly its domain will be set of all real numbers, and then when I'm going to solve this equation, I will get x is equal to 4. So its solution set is a singleton set 4. So such type of equations that are going to satisfy for some particular values from the domain are named as conditional equations. Then we are having the third type of equation, that is the equations with no solutions. Now consider the equation 3x plus 6 is equal to 3 into x minus 2. Clearly its domain will be set of all real numbers, and when I'm going to solve the equation, I will get the statement 0 not equal to minus 12. As we know that this is a not true statement, that is 0 is not equal to minus 12. So if such type of equations in which the variable vanish and at the end we get a false statement, such equations are going to have no solution. So the false statement is saying that no value of x is going to satisfy the equation, or the left hand side can never be equal to the right hand side. So in such cases we do not say that the equation is not correct. Equation is correct, but it is not satisfied for any value of the domain. So solution set is equal to null set in this case. Previously we were dealing with the equations with one variable, but now we are going to deal with the equations with more than one variable. Such type of equations do not have a domain, as we do not get any solution with numerical value. We normally find out one variable in terms of the other variables. For example, here we are having an equation a is equal to p plus p into r into t. Here you can see that we are having an equation in four variables, a, p, r and t. Now you may be asked to solve it for any one of these variables. For example, if I'm going to solve it for p, what should I do? I will take p common from this side. I will get a is equal to p into 1 plus rt, and then I'm going to divide this expression on the other side to get the value of p over here. That's it. Next we have the word problems, that how we are going to apply the concept of linear equations to the real world problems, which is basically you should know. So here we are having the match problem 3. You can easily check out the example 3. Find 3 consecutive odd integers so that 3 times their sum is 5 more than 8 times the middle one. So how we can translate word problem into the mathematical equations? Here you can see the table, which is quite helpful when we want to translate a word problem into the mathematical equation. That is, there are some words that are going to represent that these words could be replaced with what type of a mathematical expression. That is, if we have equal, is, was, will be, has, add up to, same as, then we will use the expression equality. Then times, of, multiplied by product, twice, double, half, triple. For all these terms I'm going to multiply. For divided by, per, out of, each, ratio, for this we will use the mathematical operation of division. Similarly, plus, added to, sum, combined, more, total will show the addition. And for minus, subtracted from, less than, decreased, difference between the two terms, that is we are talking about the subtraction operation. And for the unknown terms we use the variable. So come to the word problem. Find three consecutive odd integers so that 3 times their sum is 5 more than 8 times the middle one. So at first we will check that what are the unknown terms and how we can find out these. So find three consecutive odd integers. Let's suppose the first odd integer is x, and what will be the second odd integer then? So we know that the odd integers starts from 1, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Now we can see that 3 can be get if I add 2 in the previous odd number. Similarly, 5 will be equal to 3 plus 2. Similarly, 7 will be equal to 5 plus 2, and 9 will be equal to 7 plus 2. That is, if you want to get the next odd integer, we have to add 2 in the previous number. So if the first odd integer is x, in order to get the second odd integer I will add 2 in the previous odd integer, that is x plus 2. Now in order to get the consecutive third integer I am going to add 2 in the previous, that is if I add 2 in x plus 2 I will get the next odd integer, which will be x plus 4. So this is how we can consider the odd integers. Now what will be the equation? So that 3 times their sum, 3 times means I'm going to multiply, so 3 into their sum means I'm going to add the numbers. So x plus 2 plus x plus 4 is equal to 5, as it is. More means I'm going to add it in 8 times the middle one. So 8 times means 8 will be multiplied with the middle number, and the middle number is x plus 2, so 8 into x plus 2. So this is the equation that I have constructed from the given word problem. Now solving this equation I will get x is equal to 7, which is not the final answer, because I have to find out the three consecutive odd integers, but x is equal to 7 is a simple one answer. So I'm going to put the value of x in these integers, that is x plus 2 and x plus 4. So I will get the integers to be 7, 9 and 11. Next we have a match problem 4. You can check out example 4 as well. If one side of a triangle is 1/4 the perimeter, the second side is 7 centimeter, and the third side is 2/5 the perimeter, what is the perimeter? So we are having a triangle, and we are given with the values that one side is 1/4 the perimeter. 1/4 means 1 by 4, and of the perimeter means I'm going to multiply it with the perimeter. Here, as the perimeter is unknown, so I have taken the perimeter to be the variable x. Now first side will be 1/4 the perimeter, that is 1 by 4 of x. Now the second side is 7 centimeter, so it will be as it is. There is no multiplication with the perimeter. Now what is the difference between these two expressions? For example, if I say 100, it is the exact amount, but if I say half of 100, then I am not giving you the exact amount, I am just telling you the relationship, and now you can find out the exact amount by yourself, as half of 100 means 1 by 2 into 100, that is 50. So this is the reason that we are given here, that this one side is 7 centimeter, that is the exact amount is given, but for the first side is given that 1/4 the perimeter. So we are given with the relationship with the parameter that could be used to find out the exact amount of the side. So I'm using 1 by 4 into x. Now the third side is 2/5 the perimeter. 2/5 the perimeter means 2 by 5 of x. Now we know that perimeter is simply sum of all sides, that is if we have a rectangle I will add all the 4 sides, if we have a square I will add the 4 sides, if we have a triangle I'm going to add the 3 sides. So the perimeter is sum of all sides, so perimeter is x, and the 3 sides are 1 by 4 into x plus 2 by 5 into x plus 7. So here I have added all the 3 sides. Now for solving this equation, as we are having a fraction, so I will take the LCM of 4 and 5, which is 20. so I'm going to multiply 20 on both sides of the equation. But this method is not necessary to be followed. You can solve it by your method and the final answer should be the same. So the final answer is going to be 20, but this is not the answer, as we have to tell them the parameter. And for the word problems, if we are given with such problems in which the unit is used, so you have to represent the final answer in terms of units as well. So parameter will be equal to 20 centimeter. Why I have put the unit centimeter? Because we are given with the side 7 centimeter. It means centimeter is the unit to be used for the lengths in this question. So that's why parameter is defined to be the 20 centimeter. Next we have match problem 8. You can check example 8 by yourself. Such type of problems are named as mixture problems. A chemical storeroom has a 90% acid solution and a 40% acid solution. Such type of problems are very useful for you as well. So 90% acid solution and a 40% acid solution, how many centiliters of the 90% solution should be added to 50 centiliters of the 40% solution to yield a 50% solution? So what is given in this question? That we are having a 90% solution that must be added to the 40% acid solution, and when we add the two solutions, the concentration will be reduced and we will get a 50% acid solution. Now how we can solve this question? Now you can see that how many centiliters of the 90% solution, it means this is the unknown amount, so I will suppose it to be the variable x, so I have taken it to be the variable x. Now it is given that 50 centiliters of 40% solution is used. So how I can write the statement that x centiliters of 90% solution are added, that is plus 50 centiliters of 40% solution. And what will we get? That if I add x centiliters of one solution and 50 centiliters of second solution, and at the end I will get x plus 50 centiliters of the resultant solution, which is in concentration of 50%. So this is how we can write the statement from the given problem, that x centiliters of 90% solution are added to the 50 centiliters of 40% solution, and I will get x plus 50 centiliters of 50% solution. How I get x plus 50? I'm going to explain it again. For example, we use 1 liter of water, and I'm going to add this in 2 liters of milk. So at the end the solution will be of 3 liters. That is, I'm just going to add the amount. So x centiliters of 90% solution, 50 centiliters of 40% solution will yield us to be the x plus 50 centiliters of 50% solution. Now I'm going to convert this word problem into the mathematical expression. And how we can convert it? X centiliters of means I'm going to multiply it with what? 90%. 90% means I have to remove the percentage, so I'm going to divide it by 100. So 90 by 100 into x. This is how we can remove the percentage. That is, simply divide the number by 100, and if we want to insert the percentage, then we will multiply it with 100. So plus 50 centiliters of 40% solution, so I will multiply 50 with 40 by 100, will be equal to x plus 50, as it is of means multiply with 50%, that is 50 by 100. So solving this equation, we get the answer 12.5. Hence 12.5 centiliters must be added of 90% solution must be added to the 50% 50 centiliters of 40% solution to get the 50% solution at the end. So it's 12.5 centiliters. Here we have question number 71. How many gallons of distilled water must be mixed with 50 gallons of 30% alcohol solution to obtain a 25% solution? So the unknown amount is taken to be x. So let's suppose that gallons of distilled water is x. And now what will be the statement? X gallons of distilled water are added to 50 gallons of 30% solution. So 50 gallons of 30% solution, and at the end we will get x plus 50 gallons of 25% solution. So now I'm going to convert this word problem into the mathematical equation. X gallons of distilled water, x as it is, of means multiply. Now what is the percentage or concentration of alcohol in this mixture? As we are having distilled water, so no alcohol will present in it, or it is pure water, so alcohol will have zero concentration. That's why I'm going to put a zero percentage over here. So x into 0 will be 0, plus 50 as it is of means multiply with 30% solution, that is 30 by 100 is equal to x plus 50 of means multiply with 25%, that is 25 by 100, and by solving this equation we get x is equal to 10. Hence 10 gallons of distilled water must be added with 50 gallons of 30% solution to get a 25% solution at the end. Thank you.